Hello everyone. Today we are going to see how to create the Oracle stored procedure and then how to invoke that Oracle stored procedure from the Spring Boot application. Here I have the Oracle SQL Developer client which is used to invoke the Oracle server. I have already installed Oracle server called Oracle Database Express Edition. This is a free version. You can install it from the Google. And then Windows 64 version. Once you install it, it will have the information about the installation and then how to create the schema and then users. I have done all of those. After that, I have installed Oracle SQL Developer to invoke the Oracle server. OraDB is the schema that I have is the user schema I have created while installation. I'm opening and showing you the properties that we need to use to connect to the Oracle server. We have the username as sys, and then you can give the password that you created, and the host name is a local host and port as a 1521 and then SID as XE. Keep everything as same and then connect it, open it. So schema is here, it's created, and then if you scroll down, I have the user called testdb that I have created, and I have three tables here: customers table, employees table, and orders tables, and I have populated the data already. If you go and click this one, it has some records, and then employees table has some records, and then order table has some records. Now we are going to see how we create the stored procedures. Here if you click on the procedures link here, it will show you what are the procedures that are created here. Let me open the procedures that I have created already. It's not that difficult. Let's see the syntax: create or replace non-editionable procedures, and then you need to give the procedure name, and within the parameters you need to pass in and out parameters. In means the parameters that are values that are coming from the application. Out means it's going out of the stored procedures. Here I have three output parameters. Cursor. So cursor, normally why we use is it is used to improve the performance. Instead of going for the while, we can use the cursors to store the results out of the statements. And then SQL code is nothing but the error code. SQL message is nothing but the messages that's coming out of the stored procedure. And initially you need to open the block of code, like to begin writing this SQL statements, begin and end. After begin, you declare these two variables. Initially it is 0 and success, and then open is the keyword, and then say cursor is the variable name, and then for. You can write your own SQL statements here. Here I have written, and then I am joining with the employees with order table, and where employee ID equal to employee EMP ID, which is coming as a in parameters from the applications. That's all. It's very simple. And then exception block you can write as it is, and then you can declare the SQL code from the Oracle keyword, and then message, whatever message, it's your own message here. And then just say end. This dbms output is nothing but to print the output. You can execute this stored procedure here itself. Just click on green button, and then here it will populate everything. You don't need to do anything. Just pass the employee ID, that the record that is there in the table, and then just say OK. And then it's connecting to the database OraDB, and then exited. It's go and click on open this output variable. Here you can see the records. It populated two records here, and the SQL code is 0, it means success. Message is success. Let's go back to Google and get the Spring applications from the Spring Initializer. Okay, go here and then go to the start spring.io. Here Spring Initializer is used to generate the basic projects with the dependencies. That's for the Spring Boot application. Now it says like a project and language is Java, and then say build tool is a Maven as a build tool, and Spring Boot version you can select. I'm selecting 277, and then it's a group is populated already. You can give any name you like. I'm giving Spring Boot first app, and then I'm selecting Java version as 11. Then here on your right you can add the dependencies so you want: JDBC API, and then JDB Spring Data JDBC, and we can add web as a dependency jar, and we have a Lombok as well. I will explain you what is the use of Lombok. I think that's all we have. That's all. That's it. That's enough for this Spring Boot application. Just go and click generate control. Okay, now go and save this file to somewhere. I think it's saved it in the downloads folder. Here it is downloaded. You can go and extract it to the same folder. Open this folder, copy this path. Now we are going to import these applications from the editor. So people will use Eclipse, IntelliJ, with Microsoft Visual Studio, whatever. Now here I am using IntelliJ as a development tool. I am going to import that projects into IntelliJ IDEA. Just select this one, say OK, and then open it in the new window. So here it's opening now. We have the sample Spring Boot applications created, and all the dependencies are being pulled from the Maven central repository. Now click on open this source. Source has two pages, main and test folders. Expand this main. Main has two folders by default, Java and then resources. Test has the Java and then it has test case. This is a Spring Boot starter entry point. This is where the Spring Boot will look for the spare configurations, everything. Like it does not have any, it has like simple main method and then it has the Spring Boot applications as the annotation. Okay, as a standard now we are going to create 3-4 packages and then we are going to create some classes to call the stored procedures. Package controller, we are going to write controller class, and then model class, and then we are going to write some service class. I'm just creating the package now, so we are going to write the Java class after creating the package, and then a repository package. Let's start with the let me write the model class first so that we can use that object in the repository class. So we are going to write employee as an object. Okay, so employees, what are we going to get it from this Oracle stored procedure? We can look back here, go to the Oracle SQL developer, and then go click on this cursor. So this Oracle stored procedure is returning 5 columns here: employee ID, salary, order ID, order date, and ship name. So we can declare all these variables here. Employee ID is the integer data type, and then salary. So how I'm saying integer is like if you go to the employees table and go to columns here, employee ID is a number as a data type in the Oracle, but in the Java side it's an integer. Salary is nothing but it's a float data type, so we can declare it as a float. Salary, private, what is the other one? It's order ID. Order ID, what is order ID is coming from the orders table. Open this orders table. Order ID is just a number, it's an integer data type, order ID. And then private, what is that? After that, order date and ship name. Order date is the date data type. Just use date from the util, order date. Just say alt enter, it will import it for you. And then private, what is the data type of ship name? Ship name is nothing but the varchar2. So we can here corresponding data type is string. Ship name. Okay. Now, so all these variables we need to generate the setter and getters methods, right? To set the values and get the values. Instead of we go write it, if you can right click here and then go to refactor, I think refactor or generate. Yeah, generate. We can have this getter setters. If you click on getter setters and then select all these fields and then say OK, everything will be generated. We can generate it. The ID has this feature, so we don't need to write getter setters method. But instead of writing the setters and getters method, just Control Z. If you go on, you remember I have imported the Lombok dependencies. The Lombok jar has the class mean annotations called data annotations. So if you just declare data, that's more than enough. You don't need to write setter getter methods. So these annotations will have it will define the setter getter methods itself. We don't need to manually define the setters and getters. See, this will take care of it. Okay, that's it. So pretty simple. That's why we are using Lombok dependency. Okay, now we are going to use this employee class here in this repository. Okay, now we will create one class called employee repository. Okay, and annotate it with repository annotation so that Spring Boot will identify this class as a repository class. Repository means nothing but like we use this class to invoke the database. We do this with the database invocations. And here we are going to use JDBC template and then just auto wire this JDBC template so that this bean will be available for us to use from the Spring Boot once the Spring Boot application is started. Is nothing but this object is available for us to use. And then we are going to use SimpleJdbcCall class to invoke the stored procedures. New SimpleJdbc, pass the JDBC template here and then say dot with schema name. We need to define the schema name. Go back to Oracle SQL Developer. Schema name is nothing but the test DB is the schema name. Pass the test DB and then dot procedure name. What is the name of the procedure? Go here, take your name of the procedure. Customer procedure is the name of the procedure, and then paste it here and then dot and then dot returning. No, first we need to declare the parameters. Declare parameters, new SQL parameters. You can use the array. Here within this array we need to, now we are going to pass the parameters to the stored procedure. We have 4 parameters here, so we are going to declare the corresponding parameters from the application. New SQL parameters and then go and open this class and then so that you will know what arguments we need to pass. It has string and int data type. So here string means nothing but the parameter name and the data type of the parameter. Integer, copy paste 4 times, that's easy for us. Okay, just put comma here, comma, comma. That's all. We have 4 parameters here. And then here you need to mention the parameter name. Employee ID, EMP ID is a integer data type, and C underscore cursor here it is declared as a sysref cursor on the Oracle side. But here if you go and click on this one, this class types the Java will have the all the available variables here. So you look for the ref cursor. I look for the cursor. Cursor. So here we have the ref underscore cursor. So we can use this code here. That's the corresponding one. Ref, not ref, ref cursor. And then paste this parameter name. And the what is the next parameter name? O underscore SQL code. Copy this one and the next one. Number, data type is number and varchar. So this number is nothing but integer, leave it as it is, and then varchar. Okay, so we can use the varchar here. Okay, the parameter is completed here. Now just say we need to return the records. So how the values are coming back from the stored procedure? In form of cursor. So we can use this cursor parameter to return the records and get it from here in the application. Okay, now click on this returning result set. If you click this one, it will open this class and then you can see how many parameters we need to pass. The parameter name we need to give, and then row meter we need to, row mapper we have to implement it here. Say comma, See, new row mapper, it will have the anonymous implementation. Anonymous is nothing but is interface actually. But when you click enter, it will have the implementation. This we called as anonymous implementations. Here just semicolon, keep the semicolon here. Where is this? Okay, remove that one. So here we give the parameter. Here we have the row mapper and then object. What we can use is we can use employee object, which we have created already. Pass the same employee object here, and then within this method, okay, we can write it later. So now we declare the parameters here, but we need to pass the values also. So to pass the values, the simple JDBC call has the one more uh, map map SQL parameter source is the another class available. So through this class we can pass the parameters, input parameters I mean. Here create this object and then pass the input parameters with the value here. Dot why is it oh, did I write any method? Oh, I have not written any method here. Oh, sorry. So first we need to write some method here. List of employee and then get employees. So list, we can keep it as a list. Any method name, it can be anything like that we like, or project standard, up to your project standard. Employee, just open, close it here in the down, close it. So we have a method here now, and then import this list. Okay, now where is this? Okay, open close bracket here. I open the dot. This is declared parameters dot. This is returning result set, and then here what is it saying? Oh, return statement. Okay, return. Okay, we can return list later. Okay, now I created this object. Now what I do need to do is I need to pass the value to that input parameter. So just say add value and then pass the, go to this add value. It has string and object. So what is the input parameter here in the Oracle stored procedure is it has only one input parameters, employee ID. So pass the name of the parameter and then pass the value. Say for example 1 2 3 4. We can take this as, we can hard code this value and pass it here. Later we can pass it from the request body. And now here, so we need to pass this sorry, map SQL parameter source, right? So what we do is take this object, simple JDBC call dot execute, and then pass this object, because we are going to pass this objects as input parameters to the stored procedures. Now click on this execute method. So we are going to see what is the return, what is it returning. So copy this one, map string object, close it, and then just declare it here and say some results equal to, right? And then just now results dot, because like we are getting the results in form of cursor, right? So we need to get results dot get, we need to pass the key is nothing but um, the output that we are getting, storing it in the cursor. So c underscore cursor is the key. Paste it here, and then it's coming it as a list of employees. So we can use it as list list of employees list equal to employees list. Where is it equal to? Oh, it's throwing error because we need to typecast it. So we are typecasting it to the list of employees. Now return this employees list. Okay. Yeah. Now here it's completed here in the repository class. That's it. That's all we have here. Now what we need to do within this row mapper, we need to map it to this employee object so that it returns to the this results, right? For that, what we need to do is create the employee object, employee equal to new employee object, and then employee dot set employee ID. Employee ID is integer, right? So we need to get it from the result set. Rs dot get, we can use int because that's the integer data type. Use it as a first parameter, and then the one dot set next salary. Okay, rs dot get float, pass the argument to that's a column to index, second index of the column. Employee one dot set, after that one salary, it's a order date. What is the third column? It's order ID. So we need to use the order ID. Order ID is integer. So rs dot get int, specify the index, and then dot set order date, right? Order ID after order date, right? Rs dot get date, right? And the next index, and then one dot set, what is the last one? Is a ship name. Ship name is a string, right? So what we need to do here, dot get string, and the you need to specify the name of the column. It's nothing but ship name, shipname, ship name, and then return this object. That's it. Okay, we are completed with the employee repository class here. So now we are going to write one class from the service to call this repository class, this method. That's a kind of pattern that we are following. Employee service, we can directly call this repository to your controller, and then we can return the results. That's also fine, but as a standard we are writing the service class, employee service, and then annotate this service as with the service annotations as to tell the Spring Boot to say that this is service class. Now write the same method, list employee get employees list, pass employee object. I'll show you where we are passing this employee object. Now we are going to invoke that method from the repository class. So we need to use that employee repository object, right? So just write employee repository and then annotate with auto void, and so that these objects will be available for you to use. Now use this employee repository and then call the method from the employee repository class dot get and pass the object here. Then what is it returning? List of employees. Copy this one and then go back here with employees list equal to this one. Okay, now return employees list. That's it. Service class is pretty simple. It does not have any logic here in the service class. It just call the method from the repository class, and then now go back to your controller class, right? On controller class to call this service. That is a pattern we are following. Name it as employee controller. Okay, here write the same method like what we write it here, but little bit modification there. Just copy this one, then go to your controller class. So method is ready. What we need to do here, so in the controller we need to use the at rest controller at request mapping, and then within the request mapping you can mention like version 1 something, so that Spring will know that this is the entry point for the this REST API. Now what we're doing is here annotate with the get mapping, and then say the value. What is the value? Is nothing but the slash get employee. That's it. And then you don't need to specify the media type. That's by default it's JSON. And then within this argument, what you need to mention is you need to mention the request body, because we are going to pass the request body from the tool. I will show you what tool we are going to use. Request body is employee object, and then after get mapping and just say response body. Response body. Okay, now invoke that service class employee service. Declare the employee service class and annotate this employee service so that the objects will be available for us to use here. Use this reference variable here, that get employees list, pass employee object, and then list of employees is going to return list of employees. Let's say here employees list equal to, and then return employees list. That's all. Okay, that's all, it's done. Now what we are going to do is we have everything here, right? So now just go ahead and start this Spring Boot application. You can click here edit configurations, add new, you can run it as application itself. I have selected 11, I think, right? I think we can change it if you want. Just name Spring Boot execution. Okay, and then say apply. Select the main class is nothing but the Spring Boot application is the first application is the main class. Apply and OK. Now we can just use this green button to run the Spring Boot applications. Spring Boot applications. Okay. Enable annotation processing. Just say enable annotation. It will take care. Okay, it's just running now. Let's see, it's going to start without any error. Oh, now we forgot it to mention the database resources, because we need to connect to the database, Oracle database from these applications, right? So we need to have the configurations here. What we need to do is we can go to Google, Oracle, JDBC, Spring Boot, database, data source example. It's very simple. Go anything, go any link, go here, just copy paste these properties. We can also write it manually, but it's easy to copy paste here. Okay, here, that's it. Bring data source, copy, paste it in this properties file. Now what we need to change here, I need to change the schema name, which is test db, and then I need to mention the username as sys, and then password as I created as India1 and mention the password. Okay, and I think I have the JDBC dependency here. I added it here. Let me verify once. Oh, JDBC8. Oh, JDBC. No, I don't have that here. So I need to get it from here. JDBC Oracle Maven dependency. Since it's not working, it's just we're going to get the Maven dependency here. Okay, OJDBC8. Click on this one. Then 12 dot. Okay, copy this one. And then put it in your pom.xml. Okay. and just click on in your IntelliJ IDEA. It will show the icon here. You can just click on this one so that it will load this dependency for you to your project from the central repository. Could not find this artifact. So what we'll do is we can go to the lower version. Yes, that's the only one available. Let's see, 14.8, 14.6. Let me go one more time. This A1 dependency 19, other versions also. Yeah, okay. We can go down back. Let's use 19.3. Anything 19. I think I'm using the Oracle Express edition as a 21, so it's better to use 21.21.1 or something like that. Remove this one and then add that here, and then you click this icon. Let's see now. Okay, yeah, it's completed. Dependency is pulled into this project. Okay, now let's go and start this application again. Let's see it is running without any error or not. It's executing now, waiting for the console output. Starting. Oh, we got some errors here. What is that error? Listener does not currently know of service requested in descriptor. Listener refused. Okay, go back to the top and let's check from here. Listener does not currently know of service requested in connect descriptor. I think name is not correct. I guess here let me check my other applications that I have. I think I have already um, have the configurations. The YAML file, username. Okay, so this is how I need to have the URL. It should be XE. Let me copy this thing. This is nothing but in the form of YAML file. YAML file is more preferred way to use, but here in this Spring Boot I have as a properties file. And then username, I need to use this sys as a sysdb. We need to use this username to connect to the Oracle Express edition. Okay, and I need to mention driver class name as well, right? So that is not here. Okay, spring dot get dot driver class name equal Oracle JDBC Oracle driver. Okay, let's see now. Restart. Okay. Web server fails to start. Port 8080. Port 8080 was already in use. Okay, this application is already running. So let me stop that. Or else if we want to change the port, we can change. The Spring Boot has that feature. Okay, let's change the port number. Spring Boot change Tomcat port. Just search like that. You will get the simple configurations only, I think. Let's change it and see. Yeah, server.port. That's it. That's very simple. Okay, go to that application properties. Server.port 808 instead of 8080 Let's keep it as 8081. And then run the Spring Boot application. It's running now. Let's see this time is executing without any error or not. Yeah, Tomcat started on port number 8081 because we changed the port number, right? Yeah, so now Tomcat is started, it's running now. So what we are going to do is now go to this controller. So we have this name v1, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to invoke this REST API from the tool. So we have lot of tool available. We have most frequently used tool is Postman, and some people use um what is that? Some people use Insomnia, and some people use, there is one more soap UI. Yeah. So here I have installed Postman, and I'm going to use this Postman tool to invoke this REST API. Okay, here I have already installed it. Go to go to this new, and then here it will pop up everything's home page for you. And then here go select the get as the method operation, and then here enter the URL HTTP localhost, enter, and then go and see, check it in your projects. What is the URL here? v1. We need to use v1 because I referred v1 as the name v1, and then here get slash employee. So here we need to mention the slash employee, right? Okay, and in the body select this raw type. So I need to pass the request parameters. So for now, without passing, let me just run it and see there is any error or not. Now could not send the request. Connection refused. What is that error? Connection refused. Oh, sorry, it's not 8080. Port is 8081, right? I changed the port number. Let's run it again. Okay, now 400 bad request. V1 get employee. Let me change this to JSON. Why we are getting 400 bad request? Let's see the console here in the Spring Boot application. What is it saying here? Bad request. HTTP message not readable exception. Required request body is missing, right? So we need to pass the request body. Okay, request body in form of JSON. Just pass the value from this employee object. Just say employee ID. Copy this employee ID, paste it, colon, double quotes. You pass the value. Okay, we can pass only one variable value as of now, and then just try to run it and see. Okay, now internal server error. Okay, let's go and check the console output. What is the error here? Go to the top of this console and check here. Required input parameter is missing. So O underscore SQL code is missing. Let's go to if you scroll down, where is the error it's throwing? It's throwing the error in the repository class, right? So just click on this employee repository. It will take you here. So here we have one problem, right? We did not declare the parameters, output parameter. Sorry, it says, what is it saying? It is saying SQL code under is missing. So why it is saying SQL code is missing? Let's go to the top, because SQL parameter means in parameter. So I declared everything as a SQL parameter, which is not correct, right? Because if you check the Oracle stored procedure, only one uh, field is in parameter. Remaining are the output parameter. So we have the another class for output parameter, which is SQL output parameters. So we need to use that one, right? So just change it to SQL out parameter. And now just Stop the server and restart it. Stop it and then start it. Start the server, Spring Boot server again. So there is one more dependency available. We don't need to restart the server every time when we change the code. The dependency is called DevTools. So we can use the DevTools dependency so that anytime when you change the files, you don't need to restart every time. It's a auto reload. Okay. I changed the class and then I stopped and started the server again. Let me go back to the postman tool and then run it again. Run it. Yeah, very good. So now we got the results here, right? We have two records here in the table. So we are seeing it in the response body of this postman tool, right? Yeah. So now what did I do in the employee controller? Employee controller, I'm not passing that value that is coming from the request body, right? I have just hard coded directly in the repository class. So where did I hard code it there? Here I have hard coded it. So instead of hard coding, we are not supposed to hard code it. We need to pass it from the request body, which is coming from the postman, right? So go to the controller. We are passing the object already here, right? So go to this service class. Go to click on this repository. So we have the object already available here. So employee ID, it has the value there because we are passing it from the request body. Just remove this one, dot get employee ID. That's it. And then stop the server, start it. Yeah, server started. Go back and then run it again. Okay, we are getting the same two records again. So just remove this input value and then run it and see. It won't populate any records because we are not passing any input parameters, right? Yeah. Okay. That's all for this session today. So I have more sessions to share going forward. I will be connecting with this Spring Boot applications to the React application, and then I'm going to explain more of real-time scenarios that I have been using in my previous projects and current projects as well. So keep watching. Thank you all for your support. Thank you very much. Please comment and suggest if you have any questions. Please contact me to the mail ID given here. Thank you very much.